Watch out.
Episode 12, A-League Podcast, Saturday morning, October 22nd.
Forget 12.
Forget 12, is that what you said? So what we got here today, NBA predictions, WNBA finals we watched, Derrick Rose, Birth of the Nation review, and we possibly might have Mr. Donnell Jones calling in from Slam Magazine, AJC, writing for the Houston Journal right now. He recently wrote an article about Morris Brown for The Undefeated, ESPN Undefeated, so hopefully we can get him in sometime. But let's get started on the NBA predictions, man. We were just kind of talking about it. It's feeling a little anticlimactic. We know it's going to be the Warriors. Do we know it's going to be the Cavs, though? Could be our Hawks. Could be our Hawks. You not excited, Jeremy? Could be our Hawks. Dwight looks good, man. Dwight looks good. I have the Hawks finishing in the top four, maybe even the third seed. I'm not even joking now. My top four for the East would be Cavs, Bucks, Celtics, Hawks. Top four of the East. I see the Bucks being the top three because I think that big lineup is going to be pretty deadly. The freak at the point guard position, and I think Jabari finally breaks out this season. I got the Bucks in the top three. If you hating on me, I don't care. I see your face. I don't care. I got Bucks in the top three. You heard my top four. What's up? Everybody give me your top four.
Rashard,
East right now.
Rashard, he said Bucks, right?
I said the Bucks.
He said the Bucks.
He said the Bucks.
I said the Bucks.
He said the Bucks.
Eric,
I'm thinking the exact same thing.
I said
Eric.
the Bucks, dog.
Eric,
I said the Bucks.
Eric, you've lost your mind.
I'm good.
In order to be a top four seed,
I'm straight, man.
you have to make the playoffs.
Exactly. The playoffs, Eric. Not the lottery. Not the lottery. The playoffs.
We talking about the playoffs.
Really?
Not the lottery.
The Milwaukee Bucks have a talented squad, no doubt about it. But they had a talented squad last year.
Exactly.
They have pretty much the same team this year.
It's all about growth. Can you not get better?
One thing, I could see them taking Charlotte's place and making the playoffs.
They're definitely going to be better.
But even then, you got to think, okay, so, all right, there's one open spot in the East for sure. Charlotte's probably not going to make it this year. You got the Knicks. You think Milwaukee's going to make it ahead of the Knicks? You think Milwaukee's going to make it ahead of...
I think they have more to prove.
The Knicks are pretty much the only. I mean, Chicago.
I mean, you got
Chicago,
Washington,
the Knicks,
the Wizards,
Washington, and then Milwaukee.
I got Indiana.
So you got those four
right
teams that haven't made it. I
Yeah.
mean, but Indiana made it.
Oh, you're talking about last year. Yeah, my bad.
From people that didn't make it.
Yeah.
But my top four for the East, I think I'm gonna do a top 8. I'm gonna go Cleveland. I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go with Indiana, number 2. Number 3, I'm going to go with the Hawks. Number 4, I'm going to go with Toronto. Number 5.
Toronto by default. Everybody's saying Toronto by default. I think they're going to slip back, but go ahead.
Number 5, I'm going to go Boston. Number 6, I'm going to go, let me see, Chicago. Number 7, I'm going to go, who made it last year? We had Detroit made it last year.
Yep.
But who else made it last year at the bottom? Oh, Charlotte, but I already said they weren't going to make it.
You said they weren't going to.
All right, so I think I'm going to say for 7, I'm going to say, Well, I think I'm going to say the Knicks. And then 8, I'm going to say Detroit again.
Detroit again? Oh, okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
My East is, I'm going to go with the Cavs at 1, Celtics at 2. I want to say the Pacers at 3, go Hawks at 4. 5, I would probably say. You know what, Eric? I kind of like your Bucks pick, but I'm not going to put them that high. I'm going to say.
He's like, nah, chill out. What about Chicago?
I really like that Michael Carter Williams trade. That was a great
That's
pickup.
that is actually a good trade.
So I'm going to put them at 5. 6, I'm going to say. Trying to think who's in the East. Toronto. No,
So you got Boston.
I mean, that's why I just wanted y'all to
let me
do top four.
redo it. Let me rephrase that. I'm gonna go
Okay.
Cavs 1, Celtics 2, Toronto 3. Who was my 4?
That's why. Look, you had
Pacers at 4,
yeah.
Hawks at 5, and I'm gonna go with the Knicks at 6.
Hey, y'all use the board.
The Bulls at
We
7.
got a whiteboard right here. Yeah, let's get it popping.
And at 8, I'm gonna go with the Bucks at 8.
And the Bucks at 8.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Actually, the Pistons. I'm gonna go with the Pistons at 8. I don't think the Bucks are gonna make the playoffs. I like them, but they're not the Pistons yet.
They ain't the
Yeah,
Pistons.
I do think that for sure, based on especially after what we saw last year, that I think the Pistons are probably one of those teams that are probably back, on the up and up for sure. But as far as my top 4 is concerned, Cleveland obviously, as long as they have that LeBron guy. So they're my number 1. I got my number 2. Let's probably go maybe Boston at 2. I actually got Chicago 3. Chicago 3, Atlanta 4,
Okay.
Toronto 5.
Okay. And are you mad about the Celtics, Rashad?
First of all, y'all got Boston 2. Third, second of all, I skipped number 2. You got Akeem. You got Chicago going number 3.
Yeah.
My biggest thing about Chicago, I kept Chicago out of the top 4, simply because Wade's not gonna play that many minutes anyway on average.
The team just doesn't go together.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I don't know if you guys don't see that right now, but the team doesn't go
They
together.
don't have any shooters. We know.
I agree.
There's no shooters.
All right. I said my piece.
Yeah, I still, but you're still. Wait, are you upset about the Celtics being top 4?
Oh yeah. The
okay.
Celtics aren't better than the Hawks.
I mean, it's not about being better. It's just about that's what gets me with the regular season. It's not about necessarily who's the better team. It's about how things shake out. Like I can see the Hawks having injuries and maybe costing them a few games, or them sitting a few. I feel like the Celtics would put more stock in trying to have a great regular season.
Oh
than the
yeah,
Hawks
right,
would.
right.
Because they need to get to that second round. That's a good
And
point.
then-
That's a very good point.
You think about it with the Hawks aren't as good as I thought they could be because they don't have depth at the point guard position.
No. Oh,
And
yeah.
then Dwight,
Delaney.
Dwight's gonna get hurt, and then Millsap is gonna get hurt. That's
We don't know Dwight's gonna get hurt. Don't say that.
Well, I mean,
all right, we
That's
don't know
what
that.
I'm saying. Like when you make predictions and you expect the team to be somewhere, that's kind of what you have to.
Oh, so you have to think about. Okay, you put that in consideration.
You know Millsap is gonna be out for a week or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if the Hawks,
I'm worried about him.
Injuries
I'm
happen
really
throughout the
worried about
league.
right, and
Yeah.
if the Hawks were completely healthy, they would be a top 2 or 3 team.
Well, I'm banking on that. Even if they miss a couple, even if Millsap miss a part of the season, I think. I don't know. I think Dwight just brings a new dimension. They look like they're really we have people who are really motivated this year, and I can see it with the way they've been playing so far. I don't know. We got to get back to that top 4. I think they can do it. They're pretty talented.
Why did we cut 2 point guards?
Well, we didn't need Jared Jack.
Because there's the Hawks. Because they're the Hawks.
We didn't need Jared Jack. There's no point. He's 33, and his knees. I don't think he was right yet. I don't think he's still back right.
They need a point guard.
Yeah, but we need to get younger. We
Right.
can't.
Absolutely.
I can't have Jared Jack back there, and then I know Will Bynum. I liked Will.
Well,
I was more upset about Will than Jared because Will he plays hard.
Well, why did they sign him then?
What, Jared?
Jared or Will? Why did they sign?
I don't
these
think
guys?
I don't think they knew. Well, look, the thing is because Bud has been looking at Delaney for a while, but I think he pretty much was all in with
Insurance
Delaney.
policy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but
a
I don't think
shooter.
they banked on Delaney playing this good. He's played well. He's been pretty solid. So
Not even a point guard. He's a shooter.
he's a shooter, yes. But in this system,
So you have
that's
one
like
point guard.
Jeff Teague. Well, go ahead.
How are we gonna do that? You have 1 point guard. That's all.
Oh, well, no, because the worry about that is, and I think what you're kind of pointing at is Schroeder could possibly get banged up during the season. I think he will. I mean, he's little.
Right.
He's already gotten hurt so far.
and he can't play 48 minutes.
And he can't play. Yeah, he's not good. Obviously, yeah.
I
But
would be waiting for a trade to come out soon. Yeah.
you think we're gonna make a
There's
trade
gonna be a
midseason?
trade soon. I don't know how soon.
How have we not cut Mike Scott? Mike Scott, I need. First of all, he's supposed to be in jail. He's supposed to be in jail like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I
Man,
don't know
that's crazy.
Second of all, he kept his job when he wasn't even good enough to stay on the team. On top of having
That shows
that
you how
case
deep we
looming
are.
over his head.
It's crazy.
And why is Tim Hardaway still on the team?
Well, he's supposed to look. This is supposed to be
Okay,
his year.
Har-
This is supposed to be his year.
Hardaway
I'm
has
not gonna
spurts.
get on
Hardaway had spurts last year.
Yeah.
Mike Scott hasn't shown any promise
anything.
Well, I
since
mean,
2014 playoffs.
Sunday out of games has had a spurt.
you
remember that?
I remember that. Yeah, I remember
He
he went
killed
crazy.
LeBron.
It's possible. Anything's possible.
Never heard of him
Yeah.
again. I mean, I heard of him in Georgia, but after that, man, he just disappeared. So that doesn't
My-
say anything to me.
Let's head out west, man. What y'all got for the west, man? Whoever wants to start. Western Conference top 4, top 5, and then we'll do the fifth if you want. But y'all ain't gotta do the 8th, man. Y'all ain't gotta go crazy.
Yeah, they
Just
go
go to top
down
5
to-
y'all want.
they go way
Warriors,
down.
Warriors, and Warriors.
Okay, where to go, man?
Okay, I'm gonna go with the one. Obviously, I don't know how they're gonna lose more than 3 games, but the Warriors. I'm going to go with the Clippers at 2.
There you go.
At 3, I'm going to go with the Spurs. 4, I'll say. Let's see. This is where it gets tricky in the West because there's like 3 good teams and everybody else is kind of in that middle ground.
Yeah, Dallas, you could.
No.
Dallas could make that jump.
I can't.
They'll be in there though.
I can't put Dallas up there with Harrison
Grizzlies?
Barnes as their star player.
Yeah, no, he's looking terrible preseason,
Yeah.
dude. Oh my
I
god.
just can't even do that.
I mean, you still got Grizzlies. You can't count them out ever. They're just gonna be there. They
I'm gonna go with the Grizzlies at my 4, and then my 5 will be the Timberwolves.
Okay.
No.
Look, nothing wrong with the Timberwolves. Go ahead. Shaw, you want me to go?
And then
Yeah.
6, I
Someone
would
else
say the
can go. I'm
Jazz.
still writing mine.
Yeah, 6 and 7. You go.
The Jazz are going to be the surprise team this year. They're going to be up there. And the Nuggets, when you first brought that to me or earlier when we were,
Oh yeah. We talked about the Nuggets earlier.
and then you said it was a couple episodes back, and you were saying, I thought the Nuggets might be a good team.
I think so.
I've kind of looked at their roster, and they are 2 or 3 deep at every position.
They
with
are.
guys
They're
that can
deep.
play.
Yeah,
So
they're
they just
top.
don't have that guy. But
Yeah,
right now
that's
in the
it.
West, you don't even really need that to make the playoffs.
You really don't. It's not at this. It's kind of the West. Like you said, after that 5th spot, it's kind of open there. I got Warriors, Clippers. I still even though I wrote down the Spurs, I'm just kind of feel like I'm just doing it just because of based on heritage or whatever it is.
Based on their history.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just, but Timmy's gone and all that. But Portland, I got Portland slide in there, and Houston at the 5th.
Houston?
Yeah, I got Houston.
Houston?
I got Houston, man, because I think James Harden this year. I think now D'Antoni. This is weird, but I think he actually fits better with what D'Antoni has him doing, running the point. Because James, we saw that in OKC, right? James can pass, a little bit, and he's shown that this preseason so far that he seems pretty comfortable in this system where it's. I mean, he's being more pushed towards being a all-around player. I don't know what he was with the last 2 coaches. Felt like he just thought he had to be a scorer, but I think this season he comes back and he gets them back to the at least the 5th spot there. I mean, they're not going to miss Dwight. I don't think Dwight brought much. I don't think he took much away from them. You know what I mean? So they didn't use him enough for him to miss him. So I got Houston going in the 5th.
Houston, they got a problem.
Houston is going
They
in the
got a
5th.
problem, and the problem that
King got a problem with me, y'all.
every single year,
I ain't backing down.
especially ever since they got James Harden.
Yes.
Is that all these expectations that get put on Houston, and they do not live up to it. I mean, last year they didn't live up to it. So
They beat us 3-1. I can't say nothing.
They
The Clippers,
beat-
they came back and beat us 3-1 2 years ago.
beat y'all
That's the
3-1. So,
playoffs.
Yeah.
but still, I mean, that's a team that I was looking at was possibly going to maybe make the NBA Finals.
You had them in the Warriors category for the last couple years.
Not the last couple of years.
But you're saying that they should have been elite. They should have
Possibly,
been top,
yeah.
But they
Yeah.
played terrible. I mean, yeah, they're like watching them cohesiveness.
And
is
plus
not
they
there
had
at all. I
chemistry
get it.
issues as well.
Yeah, they
When
did.
they
No,
brought
they did.
Dwight there, that was their talk. Right
That
there.
was their talk, yeah.
As soon as Dwight got there, they kind of went to that team like everybody was like, okay, this is going to be a contender, and then it just kind of never happened.
No, it never
And then
did.
I mean, except for that one run they had when they beat the Clippers before.
Yeah.
And then Eric's talking about, they beat us when we were up 3-1. I mean, the Pelicans could beat the Clippers in the playoffs. So.
Rashad,
I mean,
I'll
yeah,
knock you out. I'll knock you out right here.
I'm
It's not
not
because
You're
so
gonna be
sure
sleep. You're
about
gonna be
that.
sleep the whole show. Y'all ain't gonna hear shot. No, I'm gonna knock him out.
It's the
It's not
Clippers.
because
It'll be
they're not
slump
good,
dog.
man. They're just unlucky
Watch
in the
out.
playoffs for some reason. Every time around the playoff time, they just have a bunch of
They look
injuries.
at that calendar. Y'all need to get rid of all y'all calendars. Put your phones in the box so you don't see the date when you wake up. And, just tell them it's the regular season. And then they just gave all the fans free T-shirts and towels because that's the only way the Clippers going to win in the postseason.
Essentially, I guess
I ain't
so.
hearing none of that.
right,
I don't care about none of that. Go ahead, Shot.
My list, I wrote it down. I got the Warriors 1, the Spurs 2, the Clippers 3, Portland 4, Memphis 5, the Jazz 6, 7, I got Dallas, and 8, I got OKC.
Okay, see the 8th spot.
Russell Westbrook. Yeah, I mean, do you want to? Do you
Oh,
want?
I got 6. I got him moved up to. I got him like 6 or 7. They can finish.
Yeah,
I know it's not crazy
I'm
jump.
gonna make a-
I
I'm
know
gonna
it's not a
make a-
crazy jump, but
I'm gonna
eight.
make a edit.
I think 6 through 8 is going to be separated by like a game.
a game.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna make an edit.
Probably 6 through
I want
10.
to put. I want to put the OKC up in 6 instead of the Jazz.
I can feel that. Yeah, I'm with you. on
because
that.
I completely
feel that.
forgot about them, and that was disrespectful to the guy I think is going to win MVP
That was
this year,
disrespectful.
Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is literally going to carry them to the
You-
season.
I got
guys-
you.
you guys
I'm with
think,
you. I'm with Jeremy on this. I don't care what anybody says. He has the green light.
Westbrook is going to fight KD.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's on site. Yeah, that's
Oh.
on site. That's happening on site.
Probably.
As soon as KD dabs him up, you're going to
Couple
turn around.
technical fouls.
Yeah, just a couple hard fouls.
I could see KD trying to walk across the court and shaking. Hey man,
it's all love, bro.
he's just KD and Russell's just gonna look at him like, get out of my face.
Yeah,
dude.
what's
I
up?
don't even want to talk to you.
Yeah, remember how Ray Allen and Kevin
KG.
Garnett?
Garnett
I don't
is
even
crazy.
say
Garnett's a
that.
real one because Garnett's real.
Did we talk about Garnett retiring?
No, we did,
I don't
but we
think we
should
did.
have.
Favorite Garnett memories, real quick.
What? let King hold on, man.
It's all good, man.
See, Sean always trying. Look, y'all, second week in a row, Sean be just flipping the script on everybody.
I know.
King didn't even get to go for this West. Did you go for your West?
Yeah, I got my.
You got your
my
West
four
side.
for sure.
You got
and right now, I got
Sean,
Golden State at the
we
four.
gotta talk, Sean.
At the 1. Of course, Golden State at the 1, obviously. And then number 2, was sort of torn thinking about this between Clippers and Spurs, but I'm gonna go with the Clippers. I got the Spurs at the 3 and Portland at the 4.
Okay, all right, we got similar.
What is the fascination with
Well, I
Portland?
know you're gonna say that. I know you're gonna say
Portland
that.
is always there.
Yeah.
Why?
They're always
They surprised us
they're always
last
there.
year. You know what I mean? Like I see, and because the West is open.
Portland,
Let me tell you something.
Dallas,
Look, man, they got Damian Lillard.
Let me tell you something about
Slizzer.
sports. Let me tell you something about sports. This is
go,
real.
go.
This is real. Okay, when the Hawks got hot 2 years ago,
Don't do that.
they caught people by surprise.
Yep.
Portland caught people by surprise last year.
Okay, I see where you're going.
That ain't gonna happen this year.
I see
Like
what
nobody is gonna.
Nobody's
look
putting but ain't nobody marking them on the calendar like, yo, we got Portland coming in. They still
Yeah.
just Portland.
Yes, they
Nobody's
are.
doing that this
You
year.
got 2 guys that can drop 30 on you.
No, I feel
Hey,
that,
That perks
but-
your ears.
Oh yeah.
I feel like they still feel like they're still gonna play like they're underdogs. I still feel like they're gonna see that. So
Hey.
Damian Lillard and
They ain't surprised
CJ?
nobody this year, bro.
all right.
They caught a lot
Watch.
of teams sleeping last year, and they beat teams they shouldn't have beaten.
Look, they added Everett Turner. What's up?
You're-
That's a
you're-
game changer right
Everett
there.
Turner?
I couldn't say
Oh
that.
my god!
Just
straight
ask Houston
face.
fans about the name Dame Lillard. Dame
Yeah,
Lillard.
there you go. Remember that?
Hey,
Yep.
One of the
Dame
greatest
Lillard-
game winners of all time.
He's a
Exactly.
good ball player, man, but he's not a Russell Westbrook, and he can't single-handedly carry a team.
He
Which
averaged
is
25 last year. He had all career numbers last year. Nobody
Hey.
even gave him credit.
Hey.
I get it. No, I get.
He's miniature.
You're looking for other big names. You're like, yo, who else they got?
He's miniature.
I get it. Yeah,
I mean,
he
I'm
is.
not even looking for big names. I just want guys that can fit with what they're trying to do with those 2 guards. I mean,
They got chemistry though. That means a lot. So going against the Warriors this year, it's gonna be
Okay.
all chemistry.
So
So they
me-
can't just be stars. You
me,
gotta have some
you,
chemistry.
Rashad,
Alpha
and
males.
Akeem. Rashad, and Akeem play basketball together for 3 years. We practice in the park every day.
Yeah, every day.
So we gonna go out and beat an NBA team just because we got
Yep,
chemistry.
definitely. I ain't backing down.
I ain't backing down.
All right,
either.
then.
But
You
I'm
got the
just-
post. I'm running point.
I'm just gonna let you know the reality of the deal, man. It takes talent to win the NBA.
It does. Portland ain't got talent at all.
No,
Okay.
they have
You said they just have 2 guys.
Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, and then the Plumlee guy.
We've seen 2 guys carry teams in history non-stop.
I like to be
It
the
ain't-
second guy to say that we would lose to an NBA team if we practice every day for 3 years.
Rashad, don't do that. Nah, come on, man.
I mean, we all tall. Me and Rashad 6'3",
Yeah,
a piece.
we tall for point guards.
Yeah, and then they come
we're
in.
playing small ball then. Forget it.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
I mean,
you
they
would
bring in.
definitely-
Hey,
I'm point
it's
guard.
Man, they bring
2016.
in
I got
Draymond
one
Green
too.
as a
You
center,
got
bro. He getting every rebound. He's 6'6".
but who?
Draymond Green.
Draymond Green.
Oh, yeah.
Like they could just bring him in, and that would just like. I mean, I don't even know what I would do. I probably would just like foul him. In the play.
Yo, I love how you, Jeremy's like, I'm really thinking like, what should
I mean, I would try to box him out.
He said, "Hey,
Draymond,
bro, all
I'm
you gotta
sure
do,
he's
hack at
you just gotta,
Draymond.
you gotta trap Clay in the corner." Because, once Clay get trapped, I'm just kidding.
And then
chance.
Steph.
Don't worry about Steph. I got
Steph
Steph on lock. Y'all, I got Steph on lock. I know how to get Steph head.
So now he going to the hole.
Hey, Steph can't even go to his left.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a fourth. They don't know the secret. They don't know the secret, man.
Yo, give it away, Gangland, man.
Hey, I was talking to Jay Crowder last night. He was like, "Hey, bro, I got the perfect game plan. How to beat Golden State, man." I was like, "All right, Ted, give me the goods. Give me the goods. Give me the D's." But hey, RJ got to make the team, man.
RJ needs to make the team. Shout out to RJ.
Free
GSU.
RJ. Hashtag free RJ, man.
Hashtag
Even
free
if he
RJ.
makes a team, get him off the bench, man.
Yo,
Trade him or
that
something.
article you sent us yesterday was
Oh, yeah.
so just that's
The
Boston
headline,
media.
yeah,
Just
the
what was
headline.
it? The race to the bottom.
Yeah, it was like,
yo.
but the Boston Celtics.
What is it? What is that? One of their pages, their Twitter pages.
Yeah, and the headline was like the Boston Celtics race to mediocrity, or no, it was like
race to the bottom.
yeah,
Yeah.
race to the bottom. But the actual headline was like their mediocrity adventures of James Young and R.J. Hunter. And I was like, wow, for the
Yeah.
last
So
spot on the
Good
team.
shade.
So did we say? Wait, did we say MVP? Everybody get the MVP pick.
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, Westbrook. I got Westbrook. I don't care what anybody says. You gonna say LeBron, ain't you?
I mean, that's a safe pick, man.
That is a safe pick. That's why I ain't
That's
doing
why he
it.
never wins, because he's so safe.
Exactly.
Like,
I don't think he can win anymore, but go ahead. I think if anybody wins on that team, it's Kyrie, but it's not LeBron.
Come back to me.
Okay. King, who you got? We can go Blake Griffin, too. I was about to go Blake.
No. Now you're bugging. Now you're bugging.
I'm bugging. I'm the one.
Now you're bugging. But
right, yeah.
MVP, probably another year LeBron.
You think LeBron? Okay. I guess.
I can see that he has something to prove. Like he
does he though?
I mean, you Golden State went and got 4 of the best players on the planet. Like
I don't think
he said that. You heard him say that.
him.
He said that they got it just to beat me. He says, "I know people are forming teams to beat me," and he's right because people are scared of him. KD was so scared of him. Like, I'm gonna go join the Monstars.
I feel like he just like I'm just gonna come out and I'm gonna show them who's king. But I think Russell Westbrook's got the attitude too. So
yeah.
And I don't really see nobody stopping him this year because he's gonna have so much venom in his veins, man. It's gonna be ugly.
Yo, you got your MVP.
You got it, Eric?
I already did.
What'd you say?
I already said mine. I said Westbrook.
He said
Oh, you said Westbrook?
Yeah,
Both of
man.
y'all
That's
said
easy.
Westbrook?
Both. He said King James though. King
James.
King on the King James.
Dog.
Say Dwight
MVP
Howard.
is one of the toughest things to predict. I think Dwight Howard could get Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh my god!
Wait, what happened? What's wrong with that?
I thought he was going to say Dwight Howard for to be the MVP,
Player of the
man.
Year.
I was going to run a lap, man. I promise.
Nah, he said defensive. Yeah,
All right,
defensive
so-
player.
Woo! Paul George.
Okay.
I think
Wow.
I think
I like
Paul
that.
George.
I mean,
should-
that's
All right,
not really
no,
no.
I like
with MVP,
He played like it for a couple weeks last season.
with the MVP, you have to think of someone that no one is really thinking of, but
Kawhi
they're in the
Leonard.
conversation, and it's a possibility.
Thank you.
I don't know if Kawhi has it.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Kawhi Leonard look like he might have one of those years, man. He's 26, 8, and 4.
Whatever he is. Oh, yeah, 26, 26. Yeah, I can see that. No, I can see
Yeah,
that.
I can see it.
He has more. Yeah, he's definitely more like freedom now.
I mean,
it's
but
his
I-
team.
oh, yeah.
But I'm
That's why I
going
don't know
Russ.
if they're gonna be top 4, but I'm still like it's on. This is Kawhi's team. I don't think this is Aldridge's team. I
He
promise
was
it's Kawhi, yeah.
obscured, of course, because when the Spurs had Duncan Ginobili Parker. But yeah, they're his team, and
Yeah.
he's one of the best players in the league.
He
Top
is.
5.
He is.
I
You think he's
I
top
think-
5?
Yeah,
I do too.
I think.
because of both
I think
ends.
Both ends. Yeah.
I think when
His offensive
people
game, I still need to see more.
when people expect something from Kawhi, like that's when he shrinks.
Yeah.
And no one really talks
yeah,
about it because he's
yeah,
so quiet.
yep.
Yeah, but he really
shrunk last year.
Yeah, he
You're
shrinks
right.
in
But
big
that's his
moments.
personality. I
You're
mean,
right. They don't
Like
get
the
him.
All-Star game, even.
He was just trying to chilling. Yeah, he was out there just.
So I mean, that's just
Layup
my
Drew.
piece about Kawhi.
Yeah, I agree with you, Rashad. That's why I think Russ is gonna win it. But
I mean,
Kawhi
but
is
not
one
even
of
the
those
All-Star
guys
game.
that can
Okay, the playoffs. The playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
All right. Well, we got our NBA predictions. Season starts Tuesday, man. That's gonna be a good game. Chicago. No, I'm sorry, not Chicago. The Knicks and the Cavaliers play the first game, if I'm not correct.
That's not going to be a good
That's
game.
gonna be. Derrick Rose back.
It's
We'll talk
gonna
about him
be
later.
a good blowout.
Yeah.
Yo, the WNBA Finals just ended in dramatic fashion. Keem, man, I know Keem's our WNBA guy and everything. What you think? What you think about that? Finally, Candace Parker getting that first ring.
Oh yeah, I mean that was great to watch. I mean, you know, it's one of those things where you always want to see great players get their first championship.
Mm-hmm.
And when she got it, especially after earlier this year has been an emotional year for her, being left off of the Olympic team, the passing of Pat Summitt. So getting that was great for her. And then she said immediately in the post-game interview with Holly Rowe, this is for Pat.
Yep.
This is for Pat. She
Yeah.
choked up, and definitely, so absolutely,
That was
you know,
big.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That
all
was big.
props to her for sure. But like you said, it ended in really dramatic fashion because, and it's a little bit of a controversy. In fact, it's a huge controversy by WNBA standards because the fact that it was decided by 1 point and there was a shot earlier in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, but earlier prior to the end of the game. The Sparks' Nneka Ogwumike hit a 2-point jumper with about 1 and change left remaining, but it shouldn't have counted because they should have reviewed it because you can clearly
No, I
see
saw
she
that
didn't
when they
get
slowed it
off.
down. It was the red light went off.
Right.
Yeah, well, it was. She did not get that off at all.
She didn't get that
She
off.
caught the ball with a second left. So I was like, "There's no way you
Exactly.
can turn around, do a fadeaway pose." You know what I mean? Like, no,
And
she didn't-
ironically,
there's no way.
Nneka Ogwumike, who won WNBA MVP this year, hits the game winner.
Yeah. That was crazy. I didn't think. See, I don't know how they do it there, but you're supposed to stop the game. You said you stop the game and you review it right then and there, or do you wait like, how long does it take for them to usually review? Because it makes no sense. Like, I thought when the announcer kept saying, "Oh, we got to review this," I was like, "All right, they're just gonna call a timeout." And they never did. I was like, they just let it ran through. So I was like,
yeah, they just
that
let
made
it
no
through.
sense. Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, I think the Lynx coach Cheryl Reeve, was trying to call timeout in the hopes that they would have
Review
more
it.
time to review,
Yeah.
because clearly that shot shouldn't have counted.
Yeah, that shouldn't have. No, not even close, man. That was. I mean, but so even if she doesn't make that, what they would have been down.
Yeah, if
They would have ended up down 2. They would, because that shot put them up 2. So they would have been
tied at
it
71.
Tied 71. Yeah, that's it. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, Candace Parker and her and Maya Moore were going at it pretty much the entire series. I think Maya Moore had that 31-point game. I think it was like game 4 or whatever. And I saw her highlights. And then for them to be, both of them, like, look at how efficient they were, too. Like, that was an epic. That's what we talked about last week. Like, we need 2 heavyweights going at it, and they gave us that. That was a fun series.
And the great part about it was the fact that Candace was really able to rebound from game 4, where she kind of struggled.
Yeah.
That was really the nucleus of Minnesota's game plan. We felt if we stop Candace Parker, we stop LA.
Yeah.
When Candace Parker goes off, they win.
It's over.
Yeah. And she had 28 points, and she won Finals MVP.
Oof. All in one. Go ahead.
I mean, I think the whole series was a great series.
Yeah.
It's basketball. I really think that series was a huge lift for the league because I think going into next year now they have something to hype up, something to promote.
Yeah.
I mean, now you have. I mean, before coming into the year, I just assumed that Minnesota was going to win the championship again, and I wasn't really interested. I mean, I honestly just I wasn't really interested, but
Sound like the NBA season.
yeah, I mean, I just kind of figured, the Lynx have won this many times. They're going to keep winning. They have, a couple of the best players in the world. I mean, there's no reason for them to be challenged. But, Candace Parker, her winning a championship was like, when LeBron finally got his, it was just kind of because she's such a great player.
Yeah,
I mean, and she got left off the Olympic team, which I thought was wrong. I don't know how you leave her off, but her getting a championship and the emotion she showed like that definitely is going to resonate with people when they think about the WNBA, like how much these players actually care. Like it's not. I guess people kind of get the perception that the WNBA is kind of it's like a second fiddle to even the international game because they get more money playing over there than they do in the WNBA.
Yep.
So
she was playing in Russia. I think she plays in Russia actually. Right. So I like that too. What you're saying is that commitment, man. Like they play in 2 different totally leagues, international. The sacrifice they got to make. So for her, that emotion was just like years of. I just didn't. Look, honestly, I did not know she hasn't won one because I was like, when I saw Brittany Griner won one before her, I was like, dog, something's wrong here. I was like, that's crazy. I did not know that. Yeah. And I was like, Candace Parker's been a beast forever. So that was great seeing her finally get that championship ring, man. And seeing Magic Johnson there. Kobe was at the game. Lou Will, they showed him at one of the games. I think that was the last game in the Sparks. I don't know if that was game 4 or whatever, but you see the support now for NBA players more and more, so that's cool, man. That was an exciting game.
Yeah, man. I think. Excuse me. The WNBA they did their part, and making sure we had a finish like this because obviously during the entire regular season, the best 2 teams were the Sparks and the Lynx. So, but they're both in the West. So what they did was they changed the entire formatting of the playoffs to where it was like the best teams, period, and not just conferences. And then you have the chance to have a finals like the one we did have. How do you pronounce the MVP's name?
Nneka Ogwumike.
King got it.
Nneka Ogwumike because I can never pronounce her name right, but she's like. I think that's a great story that's kind of like being overshadowed by mainstream media just because Candace Parker is, Candace Parker, and we've known her since at least 2003. So, I
remember hearing about her when she was in middle school.
Right. And then that dunk contest she did, that's sort of my first memory of Candace Parker. But, it's great for the league, great for the game. And I'm glad we get to talk about it, and it took so many headlines. Even the shot clock violation thing got some headlines and stuff. So I'm just great that the league is getting the attention it deserves. Like I said, I watch the WNBA just because I love basketball. So, yeah, that's it.
WNBA Finals, that was a really exciting one. Next year should have a lot of build-up like Jeremy was saying. Hopefully we get to talk about it more, shine some more light on them. Next subject, let's get into Birth of a Nation, man. Did everybody see it, or did everybody feel about the movie? Or
I haven't seen it.
You haven't
yet.
seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it yet either? Okay.
Haven't seen it yet. Heard of it, but haven't seen it.
No, I mean, well, for y'all heard about all the the controversy around it, and then it only going forth in the box office.
Yeah, that's. I mean, honestly,
damn. Yeah.
I've been kind of wanting to know what was up because I hadn't seen the movie and I really heard a lot of hype of it coming in, and now once it was out, like I hadn't heard anything like really positive or like something that would make me be like, I have to see this movie. I mean, I want to see the movie. Being a young African American man, I want to see it. See what's going on, but I'm really. The hype that hadn't really lived up, so I'm kind of wondering what's going on. Akeem, you said you've seen it.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it, Eric. I know you said you've seen it. So, I mean, just kind of tell me.
I mean, no, it was good. It was the thing about it was, I think Nate didn't do a good job of promoting it, and I don't think he connected with youth. I don't think he ever did.
He went on Breakfast Club.
He went on Breakfast, and he talked about it then. But by that point, the movie's about to release the next day. You have to get people involved early. You have to build up hype. He didn't
especially
build up
a movie
steam.
like that.
Yeah, you got to build
That's
up
supposed to be
steam.
a groundbreaking. I'm gonna win awards, like a career changing type movie, and that it kind of like.
Did you feel it even though, okay, I haven't seen it, but that, which is probably a good thing, so you can kind of look at it from like what not being intrigued enough to want to watch it, or just not feeling like, all right, this is just another movie.
Yeah,
it didn't stand out to you enough, which is on Nate.
Yeah, I definitely did have. I definitely didn't get that hype behind it, and honestly, the first time I had honestly heard about the movie is when we talked about his case.
Yeah,
that was the first I had heard of the movie, and it was apparently this was supposed to be some big career changing movie, and I really liked him as an actor. And it just kind of was like
that's what it is. That's what hurt him, like what you just said.
Yeah,
like, people find out about the case before him. And it's like, all right, well, I'm definitely not watching this.
Yeah.
And that was it. He was like, yo. And so you could see him in the interviews up to that point, just kind of begging people pretty much to come see it. In a way, if you read between, like the emotions that, he was speaking with, even in 60 Minutes and Breakfast Club and whatnot, Good Morning America, like he was just kind of trying to urge people on. It's like by that point, people don't want to feel like you're begging them to go watch something. I should feel like I am eager to, like, I can't wait to go see this. I didn't get that, he wasn't, and the interviews he's done before, he did one with 60 Minutes, and I think that was what hurt him the most. If you guys seen it, it was him being very, like, he just wasn't apologizing for the case and what happened, transpired. He wasn't being accountable, right? So people took that as you being defensive. Okay, I'm not going to go see this dude who he's done no wrong, even though we've all read it, what happened. He knows that it did occur, but he's trying to say it's consensual, wasn't it's kind of the Derrick Rose thing here. But after that happened, I mean, you lost a huge chunk of viewers. Like that just wasn't going to happen. And I get on Twitter and then I see people talking about all black women ruined his sales, that black women are the reason why nobody went to go see it. And to me, it's just like, well, I mean, even if they did say 100% of all the black women in America went and it still didn't do well, then what would y'all say then? Stop pointing fingers, man. That made no sense to me. People had Woody Allen. Like, Woody Allen married his stepdaughter? Right? Didn't he marry his stepdaughter or something crazy?
I think so.
He did.
Something along those
lines. Yeah. And people still supported him in that way.
Morgan Freeman did something like that too, right?
Morgan
Freeman did something like that?
Yes, he married his granddaughter, right?
Step-granddaughter.
You know what I mean?
What's wrong with Morgan Freeman, man?
I'm just out here.
Come get your man. Somebody.
Morgan Freeman,
and why he Jesus?
Yeah, he was Jesus.
Come on, man.
He was Jesus in Bruce Almighty.
He played God, and you. Yeah. Come on, man.
Morgan.
So it's like people expecting, I don't know, expectations for these directors and whatnot. I can understand why if you are a woman watching it, you don't want to go. Well, not watching it, but you don't want to go watch it. I'm cool with it. Completely understand. Like I'm not, but at the same time, as an art film, in defense, if I try to defend Nate, which I'm not trying to, but if I did, it's like you got to kind of separate the two. Because if in that case, man, there's so many of these actors, and I'm not gonna go support it because like if he did
I think we talked about this before, right?
Yeah.
Or I talked. Okay, all right, yeah. How you have to separate? I'll let King go.
And the thing about it is, there are still people out there that are supporting movies that Mel Gibson is involved in, and we know after listening to so many of those Mel Gibson tapes, him going off and him just going crazy. We found out exactly like who he really is. When the camera's on him. So
that's funny you bring up real quick though, because I read that he got help from Mel Gibson on this film, as far as like he used inspiration from Braveheart, because it's kind of similar. Some stories on it. So that's crazy thing. But go ahead,
yeah. So it is, it is one of those issues where I think we may have been talking about this. Maybe when we were talking about Chris Brown, as far as separating the artist from what he or she actually is. It's like a lot of people out there, a lot of celebrities. We may love their movies and we may love their what they do, but sometimes it's sometimes we don't necessarily know them, and it's sort of a double-edged sword in terms of just exactly what it is that you're willing to tolerate, and when you say that this is this.
If he was and the thing is, like, if he continued to, if this was very recent, more even recent, and he was still even though I know his 60-minute interview was terrible, but I think it was even more recent. I could see it being even more condemning. I know he was a lot younger. He was 19 when the case happened. And I don't want to there's no excuses for what he did at all, because it was really disgusting. But it was, I think, even more. I think it would have hit home more for a lot of people who even want to go watch it if it happened more recent. I think a lot of people try to take it as he was just a young dude who acted as young men did. And that's the problem we have in this society, period, is that patriarchal society, how we get away with stuff. So, I mean, I wasn't. Going back to the film, though, when I watched it, it took a while for me to dissect it and what he didn't do right in the movie and what he did. Obviously, he got flack for not being 100% accurate. When you guys see it, which to me doesn't matter, because a lot of films that are 100% accurate, that really doesn't make a difference. But I think he kind of shortened us a little bit. I think there could have been more he could have delved into in this movie. It was a lot of it. He spent too much time focusing on just the childhood, which I know is important, but I think it got too long, and at some point it kind of gets drawn out. You're waiting for something to finally happen. Parts of that, I think even the female roles in it, he could have did a better job of giving them a more expanded role. They were just the usual female victim slaves, who we know actually that wasn't always the case, that a lot of female slaves actually fought and participated. So I think he could have done better on that. But I will say this, the biggest moment in it, and I think you guys, once you see it, will be I don't want to ruin it, but I guess there's a part of it where he's Nina Simone's song called Strange Fruit. I think Kanye sampled it. Everybody kind of knows.
Blood on the Leaves.
Yeah, Blood on the Leaves. He plays that during, towards the end, after the capturing. And
wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Before you continue, I don't think Nina Simone did that first.
Well, I mean, when I looked it up, it says her song, though.
I think it's
called Strange Fruit, though.
Yeah. I think it's from the 20s, like
really
Ella Fitzgerald.
Nice.
Or someone like that did it first.
And then she did well, hers is a lot more.
I guess so. Because Nina Simone's like the 50s, 60s, right?
Yeah. Later on. Yeah. Okay, wow. Her version of it was he played in this movie, and they played that song while they showed the hanging of children and other people after the capturing happened, of men, women, children, and they playing that song, and it's kind of just like a quietness, like the whole movie theater we were watching, it's just like a complete damn, moment. Like that was the most impactful moment to me throughout. But it's a good movie. I hope people would check it out.
Can I get my 2 cents real quick?
Go ahead.
All right, so the reason why I didn't watch Birth of the Nation has nothing to do with Nate Parker. It has nothing to do with that I wasn't interested. It was like, Snoop, he came out and he said earlier, that he was just tired of slave movies and TV shows. And I fall under the same boat. Now, I understand you have to understand your history and know your history to move forward as a society and to come together as a community and, have progress in the black community, quote unquote. But, the thing with me is just I'm tired of seeing us in that light. I feel like black actors don't really get the opportunities they deserve unless they're playing a slave or a stereotypical blackface character. Unless you're talking about, 2016, there's been some exceptions with just a lot of black shows, Luke Cage and Atlanta and Blackish. among others.
Yeah. That's
But you know, the other ones, you know, it's just like Scandal. Kerry Washington's playing a stereotypical role of kind of a Jezebel, and so How to Get Away with Murder. You know, a lot of people see that, and they're like, "Oh yeah, black woman, the lead role. Yes, she's in power, but look how they got there. They slept their way to the top." And it's like, "Oh, so you're saying black women can't have power unless they sleep?" So it's like it's a much deeper conversation. I'm just tired of seeing slave movies and slave TV shows. I really didn't want to watch Underground. I was with my family when we started watching it. We ended up watching the whole first season, and I got into it about the third episode. It's a really good show. But yeah, I'm just tired of slave movies, so that's my 2 cents.
I can respect that.
Yeah,
I respect it.
You brought up a good point, man, about, you know, as far as, you know, I noticed that movies with African American actors, they don't really, like Nate Parker was expected to win a lot of awards with this movie, but you know, if they were to have been in, say, Straight Outta Compton,
Right.
that movie was good enough to have earned some kind of recognition.
Yeah.
More than what it got.
What was the last critically acclaimed black film? It was probably 12 Years a Slave.
That's what I'm saying. Like every movie, that's why I agree with you. Every movie has something to do with, you know, it has to be in that light.
Right.
Like you're saying.
Because the Oscars and them, white people like that, they eat that stuff up.
But
They,
before
when they
that,
see us
Hills
get
of Hell.
beat and
Oh,
crying,
he's
they
such
eat
a
it
great
up.
actor now.
Yeah.
Like,
And
even
then,
Django.
a few years, Django, The Help. A few years before that, remember Precious? Where you talking about black people that can't even get out the projects and I'm tired.
It's
I'm tired of that.
Yeah, they fantasize over that.
You
though.
make a great point, man. Like you can't get a movie about a young black millionaire who just worked hard and.
Halle Berry got one. She got one Academy Award, and that was for Monster Bar when she had the longest non-pornographic sex scene ever.
Yeah,
that's the only time she gets an award.
Yeah,
Halle Berry,
and she's a great actress. So I mean, I agree with you, Rashad. I didn't even think about it like that, but that's a great point. So
those things are very evident. Like as far as what you're hitting on, it's just like having to be the victim role all the time in it, and then then you have people who get on and get mad and argue with people that are like, oh, well, black people always playing the victim and all this. Like, no. Well, we're talking about our history, first of all, and we're even talking about, I mean, we know what's going on now with stuff. So nobody's playing victim role, but there's reasons why these movies can get implanted in people's head that we're always just victims. So, you know what I mean? Like, and I love what y'all said, man. That's right on the nail. It's just the movies you look in the past that won. I mean, and after that, I hate for the actors is just getting typecast. That's it. After, I mean, they make that movie and then people see them later. It's like, you see, you know, I'm sorry, the girl from 12 Years a Slave. Why am I forgetting her name right now?
I mean, even the girl from Precious, man.
I know who you're talking about.
Lupita. Lupita, even Lupita from after this. And Precious, yeah.
Like, that's what she is. Like on Empire, that's the girl from Precious.
From Precious, yeah.
I mean,
she's probably good.
It's not on purpose. She's a great actress. I mean, it's not on purpose, but I really don't know her name. I haven't taken the time to go and search her name. But most people, like I'm saying, most people who just kind of casually watch television or casually watch movies, they wouldn't know this stuff. They wouldn't go look for her name. Like they would just know, oh, she was in Precious.
Yep, that's it.
And they would see her as that character. So
yeah. I mean, I love that. We definitely got to dive into that discussion even more going forward. I like that. Just talking about the movie industry as a whole, and I always think I argue with somebody about this like months ago, but I just think you need more of those writers, producers, and all that of our skin color.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like those are people behind the scenes that's really going to get pushing and telling different stories, which is why I love Michael B. Jordan because that's what he's trying to do. I think he just signed with, I forgot what partnership he agreed to with a film company, but he's going to be able to have control over doing that alone, being able to hire, have his own stories told, like what he wants to do, what he wants to put out, and who he wants to write for. Who wants to write for him? So I think that's great. Like we got to have more control over like our this is our art.
That guy,
so we gotta have,
that guy, he's the next in line, man.
Yo, Michael B. Oh yeah, he's
there was
terrific.
Denzel, and you had Will. Michael B's
B.
next.
I'm with that.
I mean,
sure.
we thought Kevin Hart was gonna be next, but he kind of tailed off. But he's kind of done that kind of taking that kind of role.
Somebody says that Kevin Hart said he can do a serious role, like a serious movie, like a.
I couldn't see him.
I couldn't see, but he says he can do it.
No, I couldn't see him.
He might be capable.
When Steve Carell started doing serious roles, and Steve Carell is the goofiest character ever as Michael Scott.
Yeah, that's true.
Michael Scott. If Michael Scott can do serious roles, then hey, I'm not counting anyone out.
No, for sure.
Even though I didn't watch those serious because I'll probably be laughing the entire time that these memes.
Because we still think of them as comedians, and
True.
we're always like, even in like an uber serious movie, we're still looking for them to like drop that one line of comic relief that gets them back to, I guess, who most people know them as to who they truly are.
Yeah.
And as far as what you were saying is Michael B. Jordan, I'm pretty sure all of us have already seen Creed.
Oh yeah.
Great movie, by the way. Great
Fruitvale.
movie. Oh yeah,
Fruitvale Station.
Fruitvale Station as well. But yeah, like you were saying, like we were saying earlier, it really is important to have more of those, like, because people talk all the time about black actors and people of color who are actors, and that's great, but the perception will change more so when you have more people of color behind the scenes.
Yeah, completely. And the funny thing is, when I had that argument, the person opposed me. I would not name who they are because they don't deserve that. But they were just trying to say that no, that's not it. We need to put ourselves in, and I guess be a little bit more diverse in our capabilities as actors. And I said that makes no sense. Her point was that we're not diverse enough as far as what we can do in different roles as maybe other races are, and I was very pissed off.
I think a lot of times when we're fed something since like we were born, we don't think about it.
Exactly.
Like you really don't think. Like I don't think Kerry Washington realizes that her role is a bit, like okay, let me think about how I'm sleeping with all the white men to get to the top, to be the star of the show.
That's why I don't watch it, man.
You don't think about that, Like I mean,
that's
you really
trash.
need someone to point that out to you to realize. This is kind of stereotypical.
Then you got young black girls looking at that and thinking that's power.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
That just starts the cycle all over again.
They try to defend her by saying she's empowering herself, but I don't watch the show enough, but
I don't either.
Yeah,
I don't watch the show at all.
I've seen a few episodes of Scandal.
Yeah, the premise is set. You know it's going to be from here on out what she's done, or what even if she stopped whatever she's done to get to this point. We know what she's got.
People will always think of her as Olivia Pope sleeping with President Fitzgerald.
There you go. That's it. Labeled.
Hashtag Olitz.
You get labeled that. So, Birth of a Nation, yeah, for sure. And I think we should next episode, man. Let's talk about more of this. Even the industry is pretty cool. Let's talk about the Josh Brown and Derrick Rose happening this weekend with both of their cases. Well, not even the case. I guess Josh Brown hasn't been in a case yet, but he needs to be. Needs to be on trial, actually. Derrick Rose, Josh Brown. First, let's get to Josh Brown and how the NFL handled this. What did you guys because we talked about Josh Brown a couple episodes ago, right? And I think then we saying
called him John Brown. That was my fault. Sorry, guys.
Well, look, he's John Brown now. It don't matter who he is now. We talked about all the incidents he had with his wife, the police coming over 20 times, her having hand marks on her arm. I remember reading that. And even now, reading that the Pro Bowl last year, apparently you read that. Yeah, okay, I'm sure we all read that. The NFL security had to step in and move her to a different hotel room just to protect him from her. And to me, and then exactly. And then months later, they signed him to an extension, which we also talked about that last episode, a couple episodes ago, was them signing him to extension and then having the support from the head coach that we're going to support our guy. And they were pretty much insensitive to the whole case throughout because they knew this case has been ongoing for a good minute here, and they've known well about it. They said they couldn't get the papers from the sheriff county. The sheriff said that was a lie, that's not true. But at the same time, the NFL had people calling in and out, and they said that, hey, we couldn't get a hold of the papers, blah, blah, blah. This is not our fault. This is on the sheriff. He debunked that, said it's not true. And here we are now. I don't believe the NFL, to be honest, but that's just, that's just how I feel. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Hold on a minute, man.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me the NFL knew this man was beating his wife?
Yep. And
they they moved her to another room, and then they still acted like they didn't know what happened.
Yep.
Get them.
Yep.
So no. So you get a video of Ray Rice, and you pretend like you don't know anything about that.
Yep.
Get them.
So you cover that up. This man never plays again. Okay, he does his suspension.
He's done.
He never plays again.
Nope.
This man, you know about what happened. Cover it up for him.
Yep.
And then you allow him to play.
Yes.
And only when people discover what happens truly do you say, "Oh, okay, now we need to do something."
Never mind.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Roger Goodell, you're a hypocrite. That's
Call him out.
I'm done, man. Like, that's terrible.
Nah, it is.
Greg Hardy hasn't played. He doesn't deserve to play.
No, he doesn't.
But the point is, if you're going to treat Josh Brown like this, and he's got a golden egg in his pocket or something, why does the rest of the athletes have to be be ridiculed and have harsh punishment put upon them? Hey,
good deal. Yeah.
If you're gonna have a certain treatment of somebody, treat everybody equally. But that's not my point.
And don't forget, even when, damn, you killed that. But even when Jerry Jones, when Greg Hardy went through a situation, and even when the videos came out and pictures of Greg Hardy, not videos, but just pictures for Greg Hardy came out, Jerry Jones still backed him and said that was our guy. We're going to support him there. And when Ray Rice had his issue, his teammates also came out and supported him. Look, man, I don't mind if you feel the need to have if you're your friend or your brother, if you want to have his back. It's different having a back and holding them accountable. Because the face of the league, it's fine. It's like, that's my friend. I forgot Steve Weatherford or whoever the guy was who came out and said that's my friend.
The punter.
That's my friend, and we shouldn't. He already apologized. What's the point of us still getting on him?
No,
anymore?
bro.
I was like, shut up, dude.
If one of y'all, if I find out like y'all like my brothers, man, we come on this show. We've known each other for years, bro. If I find out one of y'all has beaten up a woman or y'all beating up y'all girlfriend, bro, we're gonna have problems.
Yeah, you gonna swing.
There's gonna be problems between me and you,
yeah.
and I'm gonna be upfront with you about it. I'm gonna tell you to your face I have a problem with you, man.
Yeah.
And I may actually step in and defend her.
There you go.
And y'all like my brothers. Like, that's like all of this, talk about, that's my friend. That's disgusting also.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Don't say anything. If you ain't got nothing good to say, shut up.
No,
Victor Cruz, you shut up too. Like,
oh my God.
Like,
and Shaw brought him up about what he did, his flip flopping. Yeah.
Man, this is ridiculous, man. This man.
They don't want to because they feel like this issue to them it's just a personal thing. So that's why they try to be, he just like what whoever brought it up said it's just he has a mental illness. What's the guy? I'm sorry, with Colin Cowherd.
Jason Whitlock.
I brought him. Yes, Jason Whitlock saying he has a mental illness that also plays a role in this. People are trying to give him excuses that should never happen.
But yeah, Vontaze Burfict gets called a dirty player. So you mean to tell me a kicker has mental illness and it's excused and it's okay, but then Vontaze Burfict, who plays linebacker and probably actually has something going on upstairs,
nothing.
He's evil.
Yeah,
I mean he hasn't beat. Honestly,
the face of the league has already been. I'm sorry, the face of the league for domestic violence has already been painted years ago.
Exactly,
it's a black man. All right,
exactly.
Period. That's it. It's solid. If it doesn't go with that, then it doesn't go protocol. They don't care.
Exactly.
But the picture has been painted, my dude. It's been set in stone. That's not going to change, man. It doesn't matter how many other these anybody outside of the black race that commits these type of crimes. It doesn't matter, man. It's set in stone.
This man should never get another chance.
Nah, they suspended for a game, and then they finally put him on the exempt list.
I never want to see him in the NFL again.
Nope.
I haven't seen Ray Rice, so I don't want to see Josh Brown. So
No, and Shaw, you brought up this about the Victor Cruz.
Oh yeah. Victor Cruz has a history of domestic violence. So the same Victor Cruz that criticized Kaepernick for his peaceful for kneeling during the national anthem and sitting down during the national anthem. Previous woman beater is standing up for his friend, woman beater, and then said, "Hey man, I just want to, that's my teammate, that's my friend. I just want to stand through him through these tough times, be there in support for him." And then he later tweeted, "Hey, by no means necessary was I standing up for domestic violence." Well, what were you doing, sir?
Good question.
Come on now.
What are you thinking?
Trying to have it both ways, trying to play both sides of the fence, trying to have your cake and eat it too.
Nope, you can't.
Hey,
if
you know what's best for your friend, man, don't play. If you know they wrong, man, don't play their side. Let them know they wrong.
The thing that's the craziest part about it, Jeremy touched on it a little bit. I done heard more about Vontaze Burfict and Odell Beckham Jr. being crazy on the field than I done heard about this man beating his wife off the field.
There you go.
We know this man beat his wife off the field. Then we found out more details about this man and how the NFL knew for months before they even.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Come on, bro. And it's gone on for quite some time here. Where this case alone has been drawn out, like you were saying, for months.
He called his wife his slave.
Yeah.
Your wife is supposed to be your queen. Your wife is supposed to be everything to you. You're supposed to honor your wife.
Nah, not with him. And the dudes who are, like you said, are supporting of it or whatever they're trying to back, or they're looking more at, this just being a personal issue. They're not. They don't care about any of those factors. What you're talking about, you know what I mean? Like, they don't care about any of those factors. It doesn't matter if this is about him and he's just our boy and we're going to support him whatever he needs to go going further.
Boy.
Yeah.
Hey, they ain't his boys, man. Because if they did, they let him know.
Right.
That's what I don't get sometimes about some of these players that go ahead and defend. What if that was your mother? What if that was your sister? What if that was your daughter? What if that was your niece? What if that was someone in your family who was going through the same exact stuff that Josh Brown put this woman through? What if that was someone who was close to you? Because if it was someone that was close to me, I'd be in sheer tears, and I wouldn't want to. And Lord knows, I wouldn't want to have anything to do with that guy.
Nope. No. Just separate yourself completely. I wish they would start doing that. It's not going to happen from here on out because it's just apparently this is. For me, it just falls into that whole bro code thing. It's a bro code. So whatever you do is, you just support your boy no matter what.
Doesn't it seem like an NFL thing though? Like where it's kind of like nobody will speak out against their teammate. Like it's. I understand, we play on this team and your brother, it's a brotherhood, but sometimes your brother's wrong and you have to let him know. Like, this is the whole NFL. Nobody wants to speak on anything controversial, and then when somebody does, like, they become a villain and they're out of the league.
Completely.
And some fans can be a little bit controversial as well, because I remember that there were Baltimore Ravens fans that were getting all over Ben Roethlisberger when he had his issues, but defended Ray Rice.
My God. Well, wrapping up, we're definitely got to keep discussing this. I'm happy we did it a couple weeks ago with just shining some light on it because people were trying to hide this whole case. You know what I mean? Like you said, it wasn't getting enough attention. Rashad talking about Odell Beckham and them getting more attention than this. That's a shame, man. But now we have turned to our last segment here. We got Donnell Suggs, man. A big A-League supporter of us. Always shouting us out, man. We got Donnell, sports editor at the Houston Home Journal. He writes for Ulster Slam Magazine, Lafayette Sun Paper, Newman Times Herald, Atlantic Daily World. This dude does it all, man. From Brooklyn. Brooklyn's in the house.
Where Brooklyn at? We
got Mr. Suggs. What's going on, man?
Hey, brothers. How y'all doing, man? Good to be here.
Nice, man. We doing good, man.
I'm doing fine, man. Having a good morning.
Having a good one. We're happy to have you in, man. We read your article.
Having a good morning.
Say it again.
I say he's always having a good morning. He's always in a good mood.
Yeah, Shot is always.
Hey, man. Hey, my eyes. I opened my eyes this morning, man.
That's real. That's what I was about.
Absolutely.
So we read your article, man, for The Undefeated. You had, and that was just terrific. Loved your take on it. Yeah, loved your take on it, the positive take you took. Because like you kind of hinted at it, that every other publication is just trying to talk just negatively about Morris Brown and just talk about the downfall and not about how to recover. That was tremendous, man. I really appreciate you just writing it, period. I think a lot of people need to hear about what's going on here. So what kind of inspired you from the get-go to just want to write this?
Originally from Brooklyn, been here 10 years. When I got to Atlanta in 2006, Morris Brown had just lost their accreditation. This team, you got to remember, they were playing Division 1A football and Division 1 basketball for 3 years. Like, just like Georgia Tech and just Georgia State, they would, had a D1 club, a D1 program, and it just went away so fast. And I always walk through. You're in Atlanta. You pretty much know everything in the city. I'm downtown. I don't know Buckhead and all that. I'm downtown. Covering the Hawks and everything for Atlanta Daily World and the papers like that. So I've always been on campus every now and again. It went from seeing a couple hundred people to about 100 people to about 20 people. So I was wondering about that. So when the Undefeated finally broke, I said, man, I got to make sure I pitch this to them. And they have a whole HBCU section. So I'm like, I'm in Atlanta.
Yeah.
With all due respect to D.C., with all due respect to Virginia, with all due respect to the further south in Mississippi, this is Atlanta, man. This is the AUC. So I had to see if we could have something that represents us, our city, because after 10 years, it's like my home. It is home.
Yeah.
So I wanted to throw something up there, and I pitched it to them. They were like, yo, if you can get on campus and get access, we'll run something for you, you know?
Yeah.
And boom, there you go.
Did it? I mean, just interviewing the people who are currently there, and I read some. Throughout the piece, you kind of mixed in current and former people, alumni, and you got current students there. Were you kind of surprised their reaction? You got the reaction from the current students about how prideful they are of attending Morris Brown, because you had people. I saw one person you had to transfer to Morris Brown.
Right. With all due respect to you guys are a lot younger than me. I'm 38. So back when I was coming up, a different world was all the rage, and you wanted to go to an HBCU, or you wanted to go and be as black and as proud as you possibly could. And what I've noticed is that hasn't changed. Folks care about who they are, but it didn't seem like, other than maybe Morehouse, or certain girls want to go to Spelman, and certain guys following their father's footprints and go to Morehouse per se. Most folks ain't shouting HBCUs out. Like, I remember them being, we should walk around with sweaters. I had a Howard sweater. I didn't know what Howard was. I'm in New York. I didn't know how I was in D.C. I just know that it was all black school, and this is what you did.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby and them rocked that, well, I guess he's not the best example right now. But the folks on the show watch those sweaters with pride, and I was like, man, so when I see a lot of younger folks now, I was like, to interview people that were 19, 18. One girl she just got out of high school. She's 17 from New York, from the Bronx, and she literally applied and got into school. Well, they're not turning folks down at this particular point. But she came down here and was like, oh, yeah, I like this. And it's like to see the pride on young people, 17, 18, 19. One guy was 21. And they're choosing Morris Brown. Not, I had to go here. I had no choice. Like, no, I'm good. Like, I was at Tuskegee, and that was a big campus and whatnot. But I wanted to come home to Atlanta. Instead of saying, well, I'll fly here, there, I'll just go to Morris Brown. That was really, that was the energy I needed for the piece, because it was starting to drag. Like, it was hard to find students sometimes when I walked on campus.
Yeah. That's
very hard. You know that.
Yeah.
Well, my question for you, Donnell, is where's the line where do you think the line is between tradition and pride and then just wanting a quality education? Where do you think you draw that line?
That's a great question. See, here's the thing. There was a point where we couldn't go to any other universities.
Right.
Very few. I'm not talking about, 100 years ago. I'm talking about like 50 years ago. You couldn't get into Harvard. You just couldn't get into Georgia. Shit. You couldn't get into Georgia State if you was from Atlanta in 1950.
Wow.
You shouldn't even be downtown on campus at all. Well, now they have a master campus. They had a smaller campus. But you couldn't go to these public and private institutions because they didn't allow blacks in them. And we were happy as heck to get to Morris Brown. Happy as heck to get to Howard, Hampton, Fisk. Forget that. Let's go smaller. Fisk University or NCA&T. Man, you couldn't wait to get on campus with your people. And now it's like, well, I kind of want to get a good job. I kind of want to be a writer, or engineer, a radio personality. I better go to Georgia State, which is a great university. I better go to Georgia Tech. I better go to UGA. I want to have a shot when I get out. If I get a degree from NCA&T, I'm scared that maybe somebody outside of North Carolina will be like, man, where's that?
Yeah.
But at one point, this is what you want to do. So the line is fading a little bit, and I'm trying to bring that back. I want us all to bring that back, not just for homecoming, not just for the Battle of the Bands, but for the fact that you should be proud that you have a degree from Morehouse College. Well, actually, they got their degree still stands in this city. In this city, it still holds a lot of weight.
Yeah,
right.
Their alumni. But you'd be surprised how much the Morris Brown alumni contacted me either after the piece just recently or beforehand, contributing to it. A lot of folks are like, yeah, man, I'm still proud of that. I love my Morris Brown degree, despite them not having accreditation right now.
Right. My uncle went to Morris Brown. But, I mean, my thing is, it's kind of like, I mean, you got the tradition and the pride of HBCUs. I understand that. But if I can't even get, if my school's not accredited, then my diploma is
worthless.
It's worthless.
That's the myth. The myth is, there's no accreditation, so I guess it doesn't matter. If you get a degree, I have a degree in English, for Christ's sake, man. Half the time I'm talking, I'm cursing like I never even went to college. When you get the degree, you have the degree in whatever you got the degree in. Now, you go to certain companies, and they're looking, when they go through that resume, and they look down, and they say, and it says Howard, it says Yale, then a lot of times you get skipped to the top. Now, of course, right now, if it says Morris Brown, first thing you'll say Morris Brown class of 2015. Well, they haven't had accreditation in 10 years. That doesn't mean the degree doesn't count. You still did the classwork. You did the coursework to get it. It just means that now the prestige of putting you to the top of that list it's probably not going to happen. So yeah, you're right. I have a 12-year-old daughter, so she's not ready yet. When she gets of age and she wants to go to Spelman, I'm not going to stop her. Because there's all kinds of Spelman alumni, lawyers, doctors, all over Atlanta. Why would I stop her from going to Spelman when I know there's one of her professors knows a doctor that knows the person that runs the hospital that can get her the job? So but the accreditation doesn't stop your degree from meaning anything. It just means that when that name comes up at this particular moment, it doesn't hold the same weight it once did.
Gotcha.
And that's the myth that I was trying to dispel.
Gotcha.
A little bit.
Okay, hey, Donnell, I got a question for you too.
Shoot.
I know you mentioned that you saw a lot of the, HBCU, sweaters and shirts throughout, your childhood growing up on TV. I watched a lot of those shows as well, and I kind of saw a lot of those things too. But you don't see it as much now. How do you think, what kind of impact that has had on, making it, lessening the attention given to these schools, and and some of these alumni that are from these places, from these HBCUs, are famous artists, and Atlanta's kind of become has become the hip hop capital of the world right now, and you got a lot of guys that are going through these schools that are coming out and becoming famous DJs or rappers, and they can go there and hone their skills, and not only hone their skills but find themselves, like you were mentioning in your piece. Tell me how that kind of all plays together.
Yeah, it's different. Like I was saying, I'm 10 years old in 1987. The Cosby Show comes on Wednesday nights. Everything in the world stops for half an hour. It was a half an hour, but everything stopped because you had to be in the crib to see that, and the next half an hour, depending on what you're talking about, a different world came on after that. And all they was pumping was Black Pride. All they was pumping was HBCU. Now, granted, hey, man, if you can get into Harvard, go to Harvard, dude. Like, don't not go to Harvard. But what I'm saying is, it went from some of the best basketball players the NBA had in the 50s and 60s all came out of HBCUs and smaller colleges, smaller black towns, or whatever. And one day they said, all right, you guys can come to Kentucky now. You guys can come to Duke now. And we all ran to Duke because we just want the best opportunity we can to get money, get a degree, get whatever your profession may be, from basketball to dentistry. And the whole point was, whatever happens is saying, I'm still going to be the best dentist in the world, but I want to go to Morehouse. Yeah. I just want to go to Morehouse. I want to experience Morehouse. And I promise you, when it's time to take that dental test, the LSAT for a lawyer, take that test to become an engineer, whatever it may be, to fill out the application, I'm going to kick ass doing it, but I'm going to do it with a Morehouse degree. When did that start fading? 2000s, when we got so-called mainstream and decided, well, we don't need to necessarily represent everything about black. We can be black, but I want to get in them Trump Towers, per se. I want to use his name right now because I'm not feeling him right now. I want to get in them Trump Towers. I want to get with these people. I want to get Puff Daddy in there, where I remember him doing shows in New York for free at clubs. He just wanted to be on stage, and B.I.G. was doing them in the street. Wow. Like just rapping in the street in front of the record store selling juicy singles. I'm talking, forget the album, I'm talking about the single. Outside on Fulton Street in Brooklyn, and doing the show for free, and we was all cool with it. Like, this is all right. We supported them. And then it's like, okay, well, now I'm going to start tossing champagne around and realizing, you know what, we can make a lot of money. Hot Boys was in New Orleans, dirty as hell. And we'll snap your fingers, now we got Lamborghinis and there's white girls all over the video. And that's okay. I'm not saying you ain't supposed to like what you like. But whatever happened to the same crew that was dirty in New Orleans was doing all their videos in the project? Yeah. All their videos was in the project and everything was fine. And before you know it, we realized now, in order to really be good, we better do our videos in Miami, not New Orleans, in Miami, and have white and Spanish girls all over the place. No more black girls in the videos you can see. You can't even find one anymore. And it's like, what happened? Whatever happened to the pride we had? There's nothing wrong with being the best dentist in the world, the best mechanic, the best radio engineer, the best sports writer, and coming from HBCUs and whatnot. So the line is blurred now, and it happened around 2000, I think, not late 90s, where we realized, it's all right, man, we don't have to be with each other and lift each other up to be successful. I just want to be successful myself. And that's where I think it happened, where we forget about our Morris Brown college. We forget about them. And the people I talk to are super proud, man. There's designers and engineers and preachers and pastors and doctors, and they all care. They all super teachers, simply teachers and basketball coaches, and they all care. They still care about their university. So I don't think it's gone, but it's blurred. The next generation after me, which might be you guys, or maybe I'm about 2 generations away, have decided, well, I don't necessarily have to put my fist up, per se. I'm gonna be original man, but I'm not necessarily gonna lift everybody else up, and that's weird to me because that's what we were doing when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s. You was super happy to be medallions and everything. You wouldn't be catching Mike Cordet wearing a medallion right now. If it was, it's just that one guy that does. Nobody wants to represent Africa in that feeling anymore. It's like, nah, I'm good. I just want to be mainstream and just be as rich as possible, which is good. I want you to have your money. Just get your money with your people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I definitely feel as if that there does seem to be, as you mentioned, that disconnect where sometimes I guess people are talking about how they want to, how sometimes they want to go to a larger university as opposed to going to an HBCU. Is it I feel like it could be one of those issues where perhaps that disconnect may very well be there in many ways because of the fact that perhaps Morris Brown is definitely a well-respected HBCU, but I feel like it's one of those issues where I feel like it's not necessarily I guess embraced all that much, or probably used to be embraced in black culture, but it could be one of those issues where perhaps it's just one of those things where perhaps it's just probably just not there, and bigger schools have bigger brands, so they gravitate towards those more.
Mm-hmm. What happened to the pride of the brand? How was the brand? Hampton's a brand.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to the Monster Pride and those brands? Those schools really haven't fallen off. I mean, Spelman is known across the world. Morehouse is known across the world. Whatever happened to the pride in those brands? Like, it feels like, listen to what you're saying, and it's like, why is that even an issue? Like, you can still go to these schools and be whatever you want to be. And at one point, that's all you had. And because now you have more options, those schools are lesser schools. Now, Morris Brown right now, you're right. If you guys all want to go back for a master's, don't go to Morris Brown. That's stupid. Don't waste your time doing that when there's no accreditation. It is silly for them. I'm going to go back. They actually invited me back to start taking some master courses. They're literally going to make up like a master course for me to take. And this is all out of respect. And I'm going to do it because I'm a 30-year-old man, solidified in my career at this particular point, and I'm not going to do nothing else for a living because I don't like working too hard. All I want to do is watch sports and write about it. So I'm not going.
We're with you on that.
Yeah.
That's right. Who the hell doesn't? So we're good. Like, we're good on that.
Yeah.
But I still want to go back because I don't necessarily need it to advance. Some people might need their degrees to advance. 17-year-old kids don't apply to Morris Brown right now. You're right. If you feel like you're not going to put the work in because it's not Georgia Tech, because it's not UGA, because it's not Georgia State, all fine universities, because it's not Hampton and Howard per se, it's below you. If you feel like that, don't go there, because right now the attendance is 51 people. It's 51 people. You guys have been in college classes with more than 51 people.
Yeah.
It's 51 people, 51 students, period.
Wow.
Period. Right, and I think we're including online as well.
Wow.
So
amazing.
Don't go there if you're not going to be dedicated to that fact.
Yeah.
Sure. But I think in order for us in general, Black Lives Matter, you want to get to whatever you want to get into, rock the vote. Oh, we don't want to talk to it. Stop talking, and we got to do. Just like I want everybody to go vote on November 8th, I kind of want people to go to Morris Brown if you want to get it better. How is it going to get better? It's like getting a job with no experience. You can't get this job, you don't have no experience. Well, I need the job to get the experience. If you want Morris Brown to get it, then we need to go.
Yeah.
If we don't go, it won't get better. Period.
And I think that's for sure. I think that we've all kind of hinted at. I mean, the whole theme here has been just as far as people, the support, the disconnect there. But what you did is highlighting what is the great things that are going on. Them still having homecoming, despite not having a football. You say it again. It's today.
All day today.
All day today, homecoming, y'all.
Yes.
And they said they're giving away a car and everything. Are they giving? You said they're giving away a car.
They're having a raffle, yes, sir. I think raffle tickets might be about $1, $2. They're giving away a 2016 Chevy Malibu.
Let me give me a whip. What's up?
Chevy Malibu. I don't even have that.
Shoot.
It was donated by a dealer. So that's what I'm saying. A Morris Brown alum who owns a dealership donated the car. If we don't give back to each other, how are we going to get, y'all?
Exactly.
We're not going to get.
It's not going to happen. So we got to support, and even us not attending HBCU.
No doubt.
I think my last quick thing is just being able to support quickly, could you say what we could do to support is not being alums, but what could we do as we're just GSU alums, but what could we do to support as outsiders?
But you're Atlantans, though.
Yeah.
That means it's our school, too. It's still your school.
Yeah.
It's still your school. Now, granted, all that giving money stuff, easy with that. Unless you got $1 million in your pocket, a couple $100 isn't going to change that school situation right now.
Yeah.
But what we could do is, when you get a chance to shout them out on your shows or in your pieces, do that. If you get a chance to come on campus and try to clean up, you can do that. They have these things every month. They're just going on the website. They got a new PR person doing their website now, so it's really good. Check them out. Follow them on Instagram. You say, wow, what's that got to do with it, Donnell? Well, when they have events coming up, they'll post them on Instagram a week in advance or whatever. If they have something on campus, if you want to just come down homecoming today, all day on campus, buy a sweater, buy a T-shirt. You don't got to rock it, give it to your mama. Buy a hot dog, whatever they rock, all that stuff, contribute to it, because all that's going back into the school. Just show them some love.
Yeah, there's more support.
Retweet a tweet, show them some love. You do it for Kim Kardashian, and she don't care about it.
I don't give a damn about Kim.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's real, though. That's real.
Yeah.
Real spit. Everyone's up in arms over Kanye West's family, and I have a wife and children, so I am too. But what I'm saying is that caused Twitter to freeze. But when a black school is dying,
nobody's
silence.
Complete silence.
I don't even want to talk about that.
Yeah.
But you want to talk about forget Donald Trump. He don't care about you. Stop sitting there tweeting all day about him and tweet about these schools in your city. This is our city, Atlanta.
Preach. Yeah.
Don't call us out.
Man, Mr. Suggs, man, we really appreciate you calling in, sharing
Thanks
with
for
us.
having me on, guys.
Man, this was great. Y'all can check out his article. Morris Brown is surviving, hoping to thrive again. It's on ESPN, theundefeated.com. Man, we really appreciate you calling in, brother.
Thank you, brother. Everybody have a good day, okay?
All right, man. Take care.
This afternoon, right?
All right, man. That was Mr. Suggs calling in. That was a great talk we had there, but definitely about supporting our own and our colleges here, especially our black colleges. We should definitely look into that more, man. That's exciting though for them to still having the homecoming stuff and doing what they're doing to keep up that motivation for people to want to come. So Morris Brown, shout out to Morris Brown, man. But yeah, that's the end of episode 12. The A-League, man, went over, like you said, with Morris Brown. We did Derrick Rose and Josh Brown. Also went over the NBA predictions for the season, WNBA Finals. Did a little bit of everything, man. So everybody quickly will go around. EricYaboa.com. eYaboa5 is the Twitter. Quickly want to shout out Rashad for being on ATL. Oh, I keep wanting to say ATL. Atlanta episode, the club episode. Is that episode 8? Episode 8. Are you obligated? Can you say it now? It's just,
no.
It's part of your contract.
I can say it. It's out.
Okay,
I didn't read the full thing. It's like a lot of pages. I didn't read it.
Shout out to Rashad though.
I just I'm gonna be quiet. But yeah. I think it's like episode 8. It was pretty cool. Donald's a cool dude. I shook his hand and talked to him afterwards.
Oh, that's what I bring him on the show. Shoot. What's up?
I don't think
D-Glove.
he's that cool yet.
All right. All right, cool, man. Yeah, that's me. Let's get it.
Akeem Balaam. That would be Akeem Balaam, AKIEMBAILUM, on Twitter and the Gram, and at AkeemBalaam.com. Check it out.
I thought Akeem was about to say something crazy. He said AKA. I was like, oh.
AKA. Look out.
RashadMilligan.com. Everybody tweet me this week your favorite KG moments.
Okay.
Jeremy Johnson, Clark_Kent_75. You know, I get my Superman on.
Yeah. Episode 12, man. Peace. Watch out. Watch out.